All right, sir, again, you're Jacordon Gillery.
Yes.
And we started this hearing last week, and this is cause number 23 DCCR 1225. And in that case, Mr. Gillery is on probation for evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. Went through that motion previously. He pled true to counts 3, 5, and 8. There was some testimony previously from probation, and then we recessed the hearing until today so that whether more testimony or evidence with regard to some of the other conditions. Ms. Malfino, are you ready to proceed?
Yeah.
Mr. Kimler, are you ready?
Right.
All right, then, did I give an updated or no?
I don't think we did an updated, Judge, but I did file first and then.
Okay. Oh, okay. So since last week also there was an issue, let me find that came up. And so first amended motion has been filed. I want to go through that allegation as well before we go forward. If y'all will come, well, I can do it from here, actually. Mr. Gillery, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And so will he waive the formal reading, Mr. Kimler, of the first amended motion?
Wait for reading.
So I have now a first amended motion to revoke your community supervision. It adds, there were two more allegations. Count 9 in that motion alleges that you violated your curfew condition of your bond by failing to remain at your approved residence, 1215 Drive, by being at a location other than your approved residence at approximately 11:53 on July 4th, 2026 until 12:25 a.m. on July 5th of 2026. And is that true or not true?
Is that your residence or not your residence that you have where you were found? When you were on the census?
Come up here. Y'all come up here. Stay right here. So did you understand the allegation?
No.
So the allegation is that you were not at your approved residence. You were out past curfew on July 4th from 11:53 on July 4th until 12:25 of July 5th. And is that true or not true? Okay. Count 10 alleges that you were at a location other than your residence at approximately 11:53 p.m. on July 4th. That's the same. I think that was.
We did it that way, Judge, because there was some confusion in the administrative hearing if it was a violation of his bond or a violation of his probation, because the GPS was ordered kind of as code.
Okay. Count 9 alleges a condition of your bond. The one that we just went through, that it was a condition of your bond that you remain at your residence, right? Count 10 alleges that you were also, same allegation, but it really has to do with probation, and that you had the GPS system tracking and it logged that you were out past curfew at 11:53 p.m. on July 4th of 2026. And is that true or not true?
It's true.
It's true. Okay.
I guess we have to assume that the GPS verification, I don't know if he's in a position, the way it's worded actually say the GPS. I mean, he's pleading.
Were you at somewhere other than your home at 11:53 on July 4th of 2026?
I was at home.
I think
What's your address?
12:15.
1215, where you're saying
Yes.
that's your address. Well, this is saying that you weren't there.
No, I think he didn't. That's not the address probation had for him. Your own.
It specifically says in here, I'm going to read it word for word, that Jacordon Dion Gillery violated the curfew condition of the defendant's bond by failing to remain at the defendant's approved residence located at 1215 Beaumont, Texas, 77706, and by being at a location other than his approved residence at approximately 11:53 p.m. on July 4th until 12:25 a.m. on July 5th, 2026. Is that true or not true? Were you somewhere other than 12:15 between 11:53 and 12:25 on July 4th? Okay. We'll just get, I'm going to say not true, and we'll get testimony with regard to that. Okay, y'all have a seat. And Ms. Malfino, are you ready to proceed with witness?
Yeah. Judge, I would call Officer Moss. Officer Moss, would you please state your name for the record?
Officer Zachary Moss.
And how are you employed?
I'm employed by the Police Department.
Certified peace officer in the state of Texas.
I am.
Back on February 27th of this year, 2026, were you on duty and working patrol here in Jefferson County, Texas?
Oh,
Was your attention brought to a possible evading detention suspect approximately 23:20 hours on that date?
yes,
And was that at the intersection of Magnolia and Wilson?
yes.
Can you advise the court what it is that you observed with respect to a Dodge Charger, the parking lot there at the Honey Stop?
I observed a white Dodge Charger leave the parking lot at a high rate of speed, and they went westbound on Super Drive.
And the court is obviously aware, but can you just very briefly for the record advise what it is about that area, that location, the Honey Stop? Is that a high crime area? Bless you. And something that is actively patrolled by Beaumont, and you may or may not stop vehicles at a higher rate in that area just to investigate possible crimes, correct?
Yes,
And is that for the safety of all the citizens in that area of town?
it is.
And after you observed that, can you tell the court what you did?
I got to the intersection of Magnolia and East Lucas and went westbound on Lucas, attempting to catch up to the vehicle. That vehicle was seen continuing to travel at a high rate of speed, swerving in and out of traffic, and continued that way until I was able to catch up to it at East Lucas Drive in Concord.
Okay. And again, as the court is familiar, but can you just dictate for the record a little bit about the patrol officer use now of the real-time crime center? And when you say a vehicle is seen, that can be not only by yourself visually, but also by dispatchers working that when you call it in so they can assist you in looking at that car in other areas of Belmont, correct?
Correct.
And what was it that was observed in your personal knowledge, both by yourself and relayed to you?
So what we see a vehicle and when we start to relay that information, we have the real-time crime center that can utilize multiple systems to assist us. Specifically our flock system, which is a license plate reader system throughout the city. They were able to actually locate a vehicle matching the description of what I seen a little later on.
Okay. And did you then, and the license plate on that vehicle, which you had called in, was WFW 7963, according to your report, correct?
Correct.
And that allows, when you lose sight of a vehicle, that allows the real-time crime via the flock cameras to look for it and get an eye on it.
Right.
And were they able to relay to you where that vehicle had stopped?
Yes, well, they were able to give me an area.
An area.
Yes.
And did you proceed to that area?
We did.
And what did you do when you arrived in that area? What did you locate?
My partner located that vehicle at 2115 Central Drive in the little circuit driveway of that residence.
Okay. And did you arrive at that location also?
I did.
And did you make contact with the owner of that residence?
I did.
Did they know that vehicle? Was it their vehicle? Did they know who it belonged to?
No,
They did not.
they did not.
Were you advised of anything by dispatch with respect to someone calling in reference to that vehicle?
Yes, dispatch called and advised that the owner of that vehicle was calling one to report the vehicle stolen.
And was that owner in fact identified as Mr. Gillery?
Yes,
Do you see Mr. Gillery in courtroom today?
I do.
Can you describe what he's wearing?
Blue jacket.
Your Honor, the record reflects Officer Moss has identified the defendant
The record will so reflect.
for purposes of this hearing. Was he at an address on West Lucas?
He was.
Did you then go from Central Drive to West Lucas and make contact with the defendant?
I did.
And can you tell the court about the nature of that contact?
Upon making contact with him, I conducted a pat down for weapons and asked for consent to search his person. He gave me consent and I located 2 Dodge key fobs in his pocket. And then beyond that, he continued to give me a rather long account of his night and how and why his vehicle was stolen.
Okay. With respect to the key fobs, tell the court a little bit about what specifically caught your attention with respect to those key fobs and the Dodge Charger vehicles in specific.
So he had a black Dodge key fob and a red Dodge key fob, specifically red Dodge key fobs. I've seen go with Hellcats and red eye variants of Dodge Chargers. They typically don't come with your lower trim levels of those vehicles.
And the car that you had observed evading and in reference to this incident, was that one of those types of Dodges?
It appeared to be, yes.
Okay. And those are a type of more sporty type, or they go faster, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct.
Okay. And he had that type of key fob in his pocket.
He did.
And that was the type of car that you had observed evading you and Flock had observed evading at a high speed. What was the, and obviously the story at that time was Mr. Gillery called and said that vehicle had been stolen, correct?
Correct.
And did that indicate to you that he was distancing himself or he was stating he was not driving that vehicle?
Yes.
What else did he say with respect to that vehicle or why it was that he was not driving?
He stated that he had purchased that vehicle earlier in Houston, drove straight to his house because people in Beaumont steal those cars, so he wouldn't stop anywhere. But then upon getting to his residence on of West Lucas, left it running in the parking lot, and then discovered it missing approximately 15 to 20 minutes later.
Okay. So he's already admitted to this court which was a violation of his probation, that he went to Houston without permission. He indicated that to you, correct?
Correct.
And that he had just purchased that vehicle, correct? So he claimed ownership of it, right?
Right.
Brought it directly from Houston to Beaumont, parked it in the parking lot at West Lucas, expressed to you that he was fearful that those types of vehicles are commonly stolen because they're sporty, correct?
Correct.
But yet he left it running in the parking lot,
Correct.
presumably unlocked.
Yes.
And he had a key fob in his pocket. And what did you think based on your training experience as an officer when he told you that?
I believe that he was being truthful.
Did you believe that he was actually the one operating that vehicle
Yes.
and trying to distance himself from evading you because of the fact that he was on probation or any other reason?
Yes.
Did you do anything or advise him anything with regard to your abilities to check surveillance camera, et cetera?
I did.
And tell the court about how the nature of that conversation proceeded.
I expressed to him that we would have officers go to the honey stop drivers and seen the vehicle leaving and check surveillance video there to see who was in fact driving that vehicle. And at that point, his demeanor changed. He actually grabbed his phone off of, I believe, the hood of my car, took a step as if he was getting ready to flee our interaction at that point.
Okay. And did that just add another factor to your totality of the circumstances of this case?
Yes.
Based on your further review, was surveillance video obtained? Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. But were you able, or were other officers or real-time crime dispatchers able to determine based on that surveillance who was operating the vehicle?
No, not that.
So what you had to go on basically was his demeanor, the recount that he gave to you, correct, and what you had observed of that vehicle evading.
Yes.
So someone was evading in that vehicle,
100%.
and Mr. Gillery was in possession of the key fob, correct?
Correct.
And his story to you was, or his account to you was, that he left the car running in the parking lot, regardless of the fact that it was brand new, purchased that day by him, and he was scared that those type of vehicles were all so.
Yes.
You did not arrest him on that day, correct?
I did not.
Because you didn't feel it rose at that time to the level sufficient to place him under
That's
and detain him at the time. But today, based on the totality of the circumstances, is everything that you're relaying to the court true and accurate?
Yes.
And in your professional opinion as an officer, based on all of those factors, do you believe it was in fact Mr. Gillery that was evading you that day? I don't have anything further, Judge. I do have a video that I've reviewed. Officer Moss has not, but it would be very short if the court would like to see it.
Thank you. Mr. Kimler?
You were operating a clearly marked police vehicle at the time of this crime?
Yes, I was.
Was it the type of blackout vehicle that SAU customarily operates? This is just a normal police vehicle?
Yes, this is done. At the time, I'm not sure. We're currently switching from the older style that we have now into a fully black. Either way, they're both clearly marked. I'm not sure which one I was operating.
And you were conducting surveillance at the honey stop, is that correct? Or were you just patrolling?
I was just patrolling the area.
You saw a vehicle leave at a high rate of speed from the honey stop?
Yes.
And did you immediately initiate pursuit with lights, or did you wait?
No, I attempted to catch up to the vehicle. I didn't activate my lights until I got behind him at East Lucas and
How far behind you were you when you activated your emergency equipment?
I was Jacordon.
And is your testimony that the vehicle proceeded at a high rate of speed and evaded your attempts to detain the vehicle or stop the vehicle? How far did the vehicle get away from you? How much distance did it put between you once you activated the lights?
A substantial gap.
So it was very, what were the traffic conditions like?
At the very beginning, there was a little bit of traffic, and then we eventually turned southbound on West Lucas, and there was no traffic at that point.
And the vehicles able to outdistance you?
Yes,
What was the speed that you all were traveling?
I was traveling 100 miles an hour.
On East Lucas?
Yes,
What time was it?
just before midnight.
Traffic was light.
Correct.
Did you discontinue the pursuit because of the concerns for safety?
I discontinued the pursuit once I lost the vehicle. I had no longer in the pursuit.
Last time you were able to maintain a visual on the vehicle, when was it?
It was at West Lucas and Gladys.
That's still traveling at a speed in excess of 100 miles an hour?
Well, that's at that point it turned eastbound on Gladys, and that's whenever I lost visual of it.
What was the last speed that you think that it was traveling? Or what was your estimated speed of the vehicle?
Well over 100 miles an hour. I don't have any equipment in the vehicle that would be able to determine his exact speed.
Based on your ability to pace it, I guess. Did you ever obtain a visual on the operator of the vehicle?
I did not.
You could not identify the person who was operating the vehicle.
That's what
The system that you referred to, I guess you call it the real-time
crime center.
crime center.
Yes,
That coordinates all of the flock cameras in the city.
they do.
And based upon the information that you relayed to, I guess that center, they relayed to you the location of the vehicle.
They gave me an estimated area of which the last place that vehicle was seen. So it gave us an area to start looking for the vehicle.
Without disclosing any confidential information, what was the approximate radius of the area identified?
So they don't give us a radius. They give us an exact pinpoint location of where the vehicle was last seen,
Yeah.
which is the location of the camera itself. And
Well-
then that would give us the ability to say, okay, we need to check roughly this area.
Where was that location?
I believe that was at East Lucas and Gladys, or it may have been at, I'm sorry, it was at West Lucas and Delaware was the last place that vehicle was seen on camera.
All right. How far is that from the location where you located the defendant?
Not very far, maybe 2 blocks.
Okay, relatively close to where, what was it, Longfellow, or what was the address where he was located?
The address he was located at was at 2450 West Lucas Drive.
Okay, 2450 West Lucas Drive. And you say that that was maybe how far? Couple blocks maybe from where the vehicle was located?
About, yes.
One were traveling on foot. How long do you think it would take to cover that distance?
Less than 5 minutes.
You said it was located, the vehicle was located at a residence, is that correct?
It was.
Did they have a ring cam or any type of video recording device where you could perhaps ascertain who exited the vehicle?
Not that I can recall.
Did you attempt to ask, or do you know any efforts were made?
Yeah, I spoke with the homeowner very briefly. We had several officers out there. Not long after we found the vehicle was when dispatch advised me that Mr. Gillery was wanting to report it stolen. So I then relocated to him to speak with him.
So you're unaware whether there was any surveillance from the residence?
Correct.
Were you the lead investigator on this?
I was.
You went to residence, what was it again? Where he was found on East Lucas,
2450 West Lucas Drive.
2450 West Lucas. And that's where he talked to Mr. Gillery, right?
That is, yes.
What was his demeanor when you first encountered him?
When I first encountered him, it was that of what I would assume is a typical victim.
Agitated?
A little agitated, but was forthcoming with information and wanted to speak with me.
And what aroused your suspicions during this interaction?
He fob in his pocket.
Are you familiar with the mechanics of the way that vehicle operates, the ignition system?
No.
Do you know that I don't know either. I'm pretty much a traditional person when it comes to vehicles. I like old things. So, but this evidently is the type of vehicle where you don't have to have the key fob for the vehicle to be running. Or you have to have the key fob, but it doesn't have to be inserted. There isn't any kind of a mechanical device in the vehicle where it has to be inserted.
I don't believe so. No.
I'm sorry. What's your understanding of the way the ignition system of the vehicle works?
I believe it's just a push to start. The key fob needs to be in the vehicle in order to start it.
Okay, so you can't remotely start the vehicle with the key fob as well?
I'm sure it's possible.
Well, I guess as far as the credibility of the story, it may be centered on this key fob. So I'm going to try to nail that down. Is your understanding that a person can start the vehicle with the key fob and then the vehicle doesn't have to have the key fob in it to be operated?
That's possible. I'm not 100% sure on how that specific vehicle works.
Well, I guess the scenario that Mr. Gillery presented to you was that he started the vehicle with the key fob, took the key fob with him and left it running, and then somebody got into the vehicle and took it. Is that right?
It's possible, yes.
Well, based upon your understanding of the mechanics of the way that vehicle operates, is that a possible scenario?
It is,
I'm not saying it's credible, I'm just saying it's a possible scenario.
it is possible. My experience with vehicles that are push to start and you can remote start them require another push before they can be driven.
Okay, what does that mean? Explain it to me.
So if let's say you remote start your vehicle with your keys, right?
With your key fob.
With your key fob.
Right.
And then you get in the vehicle. Typically, you have to press the brakes and hit the button again before it's able to be driven.
But you don't need the key fob to do that.
No, you have to have the key fob in your pocket, yes.
So in other words, the key fob has to be in proximity to the push button
Yes,
before the vehicle can initiate.
I believe so, yes.
If it's remote started. And so,
I don't,
here's the thing. I've had cars that do this. So, y'all can go into it. But if if you're in your car and y'all can, my understanding, since nobody has whatever understanding,
pretty primitive, Your Honor.
my understanding of my vehicles that have had a key fob, if I'm already in my vehicle and it's going, I stop and leave it running and get out with my key fob. Someone could get in it already running and drive it. Once they stop and turn it off, that's it. You have to have the key fob. So If you stop and leave it running, then someone could drive it, or if you remote start it, probably not without the key fob.
Well, I guess we'll take the judges.
I mean, if anybody disagrees,
Yeah,
y'all are
sounds
welcome.
good.
That's how they've all worked that I've had.
Excellent.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Malfino?
No, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
I
You can
appreciate
step
it.
down. Yes, sir. Mr. Kimler,
This should go right.
come on up, sir. Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a seat. Go ahead.
Ms. Gillery, you understand that this is a hearing to determine whether or not the judge is going to find true the allegation that you pled untrue to the evading detention motor vehicle,
Yes, sir.
as well as determine the veracity of the other allegations about you being an address other than your residence on the
Yeah.
occasion question. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
What do you have to say about the evading detention motor vehicle? Explain to the court what occurred.
Well, like I had told the officer that was up here, I gave him what I tell him. I said, I just came back. I went upstairs. I left the car running. Yeah, that was done with me. I was so excited. You know what I'm saying? It felt like an accomplishment to me to purchase a vehicle. I went upstairs. I told my brother. I had my girlfriend upstairs. You know what I'm saying? And we came back downstairs. After I told them I'm so excited in the moment, caught up in the moment, that I'm not even just thinking about it logically that, yeah, this can happen this fast. Yeah, stuff happened, but I'm not thinking that it can happen like this fast. You know what I'm saying? So when we coming downstairs, I noticed that the vehicle was missing. As soon as I noticed the vehicle was missing, I'm not too much fond of how the law and stuff works. So I called my grandmother because she used to work for clerk as for the court. So she explained to me the steps what I need to do to go ahead and call and report my vehicle stolen.
Is that what you did?
Yes, sir.
Explain to the court how the ignition system works on that. What vehicle is it? What's the make and model?
It was a Dodge Charger Hellcat,
What year?
2023.
And how does the ignition system work on that vehicle with the key fob and the push button and all of that?
When you hop in the car, it can be in your pocket. It can be anywhere. You push the button and it start right up. So when you push the button and start right up, I can get out the car, leave it running, run into the house or run into the store
With the key fob?
with the key fob, and it'll be still running, door unlocked. I had the other key fob that he said he had. I had a Dodge Ram truck, and I don't know how I used to always do this. Sometimes I leave the key upstairs, I leave the truck running, and I hear it run downstairs, hop in the truck, take off, and then the car or the truck will notify that, hey, the key fob is missing, but it can still run with the key fob not being in the vehicle.
As long as you have the key fob when you first started.
As long as you had the key fob when you first started.
What did you do on this occasion?
On this occasion, I pulled up. I didn't turn the car off. Like I say, I parked it like I usually park my cars. I ran upstairs.
Did you have the key fob with you?
Yes, sir. I had it hooked onto my pants.
So you don't dispute that you had the key fob for that vehicle when the officer questioned, is that right?
Yeah, I didn't dispute. I told him that I had the key fob.
And did you evade in that vehicle? Did you drive the vehicle and run from the police?
No, sir.
What about your residence as far as the disparity between the address that you were at and the address that you have reported to probation?
Like I was telling Ms. Lopez on numerous occasions and visits, I was in this like heated conflict between the residence I was staying at, which is my child's mother's house, and which is my legal address, like that's on my ID. Me and her was going back and forth, you know.
Which
family
address
law.
is that?
Risk.
The rest?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. And we was going back and forth. We trying to work things out. And in the time of us trying to work things out, a kinfolk extended his arm out to me. He was like, hey, I know what you're going through. I'm older. I done been through this. If you need somewhere to stay for the time being while you try to work it out with your child's mother, come over. You always welcome. You ain't gotta sleep in your car. You argue, you sleeping in your car, you sleeping in your truck, you gotta go to work.
And is that the address on West Wickers?
Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to relate to the judge?
What about the Longfellow address?
Yeah, let's put out the Longfellow.
And okay, the Longfellow address, that was new. I just moved when all this started and I ended up getting the MTRP, I was just moving into that apartment. So when I came out on I bundled out for the MTRP, I let everybody know and let the Johnny know. Once I finally got my visit, I let Ms. Lopez know that everything changed, that I'm trying to get more stable. I got a new apartment and like
All right, are you working there? You got a job?
no, sir. I had a job from the start of my son's
Do you still have a job right now?
no, sir. I got a job lined up, but I'm scared to take the job because I don't know what's going to happen right now. So that's why I'm trying to figure out. But I had a job from the start of my probation. From the time that I was sentenced until probation, I had a job for the first 8 months. Work construction. Ms. Lopez, no, I didn't have. She didn't give me paper to get to my foremans and my supervisor. She didn't talk to him.
You want to try to stay on probation?
Yes, sir.
You understand you can't go to Harris County without permission, any other county, you know that?
And that was my
You
mistake.
understand that?
Yes, sir.
You knew that you weren't supposed to, right?
At the time, to be honest, I thought I wasn't supposed to leave out like the state of Texas, which I was wrong. I should have been more thorough and look through my
That's your curfew. You knew what your curfew was, right?
But when I was on probation,
Yes.
no, that's what I'm saying. That's my fault. I should have
You
been
know
more.
what your curfew was.
No, sir.
You
To
didn't
be
know your
honest, I
curfew?
didn't. When I was on probation, I was so excited about getting the chance that I listened to so much stuff, and I've been trying to do right and trying to do the right thing. That I didn't forget.
You know how serious this is?
Sir.
You know how serious this is?
Yes, sir.
You're
My
going
life.
to prison, right?
Yes, sir. My life is on the line. Like I understand how serious it
You
is.
understand you need to be aware of what your conditions are.
Yes, sir.
You can assure the court that you're going to be aware of what your conditions are and you're going to follow them because she continues on probation.
Yes, sir. I assure that I was be on the right path. I got a job lined up and everything.
All right, pass what you.
Ms. Malfino?
Several questions, if I may, Judge. Mr. Gillery, how'd you pay for that car?
Um,
How much was it?
it was a nice little piece of money. I had vehicles I already had that I had already acquired, and I ended up selling those. I sold my I had a Cadillac that I had bought like years prior to that. I had another Cadillac I had bought years prior to that. My child's mother even went because she know like I'm a good dad. I'm a good dad to all my kids. She gave me some money out of her income tax. She was like, hey, I know that you really want this car. I see that you didn't sold all your cars. You ain't got no cars. You trying to get back to afford to work now. I'm gonna give you this amount of money, and I mean you can go ahead and treat yourself from being a good dad.
How much was it?
It was like 20-something thousand. But like I say, I sold every vehicle I had. I had 3 vehicles. I sold every vehicle I had, like literally. And she ended up giving me like 7,000.
Because you didn't have a job, right? At the time.
At the time.
Yes or no? You didn't?
No, ma'am.
No, okay. So you did all of this hard work, sounds like, to get together the cash for that vehicle. It was a nice car, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
It goes fast, right?
yes, ma'am.
You were treating yourself. You just said, right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
But you went home straight from Houston to Beaumont because you didn't want it to get stolen, right?
Correct.
That's what you told Officer Moss.
Correct.
But you left it running.
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. And like I say, I didn't want to. Yes, you're right. I didn't want to get stolen, but somebody's so excited, you're not even thinking about most of that stuff. You go buy a diamond ring or you buy a piece of jewelry. You get home, you might not even keep it on. You might set it down. You're not expecting somebody, your friend come over, you ain't set it down. You're not expecting her to steal. You're not expecting her to steal from you. You've been probably knowing her 2-3 years or most of your life. She see the diamond ring, she might remember. She'll say like that.
We're not talking about a diamond ring. We're talking about you just spent $20,000 in Houston.
Exactly.
For
But I
a
can
Dodge-
see you the scenario.
Hang on. For a Dodge Charger, Hellcat, or whatever it is, and drove it straight to Beaumont because you were so excited and you were so nervous that something might happen to it. And yet you left it running and you want Judge West to believe that someone else just happened to get in it and evade all over Beaumont. And then when you went back downstairs, you called 911 and said it was missing, right?
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
that what you want her to believe?
Yes, ma'am.
And you violated all these other conditions of her probation, right? But she's supposed to take your word for this? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Another Friday.
You can go have a seat.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so argument, I guess, with regard to the allegations, we've got count 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, and 10 that he pled not true to. Ms. Malfino, argument with regard to the evidence on those.
Judge, I would just ask the court to take into account everything that Ms. Lopez has testified to both last week and this week with respect to those, the answers solicited from the defendant himself and the testimony of Officer Moss. Obviously, I'm not standing before you stating that I would have presented that evidence to a jury for beyond a reasonable doubt standard with respect to evading, but I think based on the totality of the circumstances that the court is allowed to take all of that into consideration, including Officer Moss's testimony, including the defendant's own testimony, that despite spending that money, not having a job. Despite driving it straight here, he left it running in the parking lot and wants the court to believe that he did not evade, but yet someone stole the vehicle in that 20-minute time frame, and it was not him, and this is not his fault. He's on probation for evading, Judge. He has a known habit of fleeing from officers. He knew he was on probation. He probably didn't want to stop for some other reasons that I can't speculate. I can speculate too, but I won't suggest. Judge, I just believe based on the totality of the circumstances and what the court has at its disposal with respect to the level of evidence that's required in a motion to revoke, to find them true, or at least sufficient number of them true to revoke.
Thank you. Mr. Kimler, with regard to the allegations.
Your Honor, I think the court has sufficient evidence with the police of true to revoke his probation if the court's so inclined. As far as the evading detention motor vehicle, new case, the evidentiary standard, and I appreciate the prosecution admitting this, probably falls short of a beyond a reasonable doubt standard. The question whether it meets compliance to the evidence standard, I would expect the court to at least is 50-50. If the court is inclined to revoke him, you have enough to revoke him anyway, but finding the evading motor vehicle true would be probative of the level, or whether he would be provoked, or the length of the sentence, I suppose, so it matters in that regard. I would just suggest to the court that even with the evidence and the totality of the circumstances, by preponderance standard, it hasn't been met, so I don't really for negative finding on the offensive evading motor vehicle. The defendant has testified before the court has before his performance from Ms. Lopez on probation so far. He's indicated a willingness to, at least in the future, try to abide by the conditions, to be better, pay better attention to the probations and to abide by those. I'm just out to be given one more opportunity on probation to complete the probation. And in the event the court's not so inclined to really formulate a sentence that would be commensurate with the allegations that he did plead true to and not finding true of the new evading confidence.
All right, thank you. Just from, I think, last week, I want to ask Ms. Lopez, and you're still here. Were you Mr. Gillery's probation officer from the beginning?
Yes.
And is there any reason that you would believe that he did not know of the condition with regard to remaining in Jefferson County?
No, ma'am. I go over conditions at the first appointment with every single person on my caseload.
And would that also include the curfew condition?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. Any questions based on that of Ms. Lopez? So, Mr. Gillery, I'm not buying it at all. It just none of it makes any sense with regard to this new offense. It makes no sense. If you're so excited about buying a new car, and then you state that you are up in an apartment or house, whatever it was, for 15 to 20 minutes because you're so excited. If I'm excited about something, a car especially, I'm going to run up, hey, I just got my new car. Y'all come see it. It's great. I just bought it. 15 to 20 minutes already doesn't make sense, but what that does is buy time for a story of somebody stole my car. The fact that you were arrested, or at least found, not arrested, when they came to you, just, I think the officer Moss said less than a couple of blocks from where the car was located. I mean, it all just points to easily the fact you've already had your opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to find the standard is a preponderance of the evidence, and I am going to find by preponderance of the evidence count 1 true. I am going to find count 2 with regard to employment true. I am going to find count 4 with regard to the address true. The addresses are ridiculously confusing, which all that means to me is you're not where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. The community service, I'm not going to worry about because he had done some and there was some added because of the violations and a sanction. I am going to find count 7 true that has to do with the curfew. I'm going to find count 9 true with regard to the bond condition of being at your location, and that's from that July 4th to July 5th time frame. And count 10 true as well with regard to not being where you're supposed to, with regard to that GPS monitoring device. And so argument with regard to sentencing. Anything else to add, Mr. Kimler? Ms. Malfino?
Thank you.
And so is it the state's, I guess, with regard to argument on what I should do, is it your request that he's revoked?
based on the fact that he was already on probation for the same type of offense and the court's finding in this, it would need to be my position that he's revoked, Judge. I would concur with Mr. Kimler that it maybe doesn't rise to the level of the top of the punishment range, but it would be my position, just in all candor with the court, probably irrespective of what the court does, rather either continue him, place him in ISF. I don't, any other option the court has not to proceed, obviously, to the trial level with the underlying offense. I don't want to hide behind a log on that. So it will be my intention to dismiss that. I think the information is appropriate for the court to take into consideration, as you have done, but I would defer to whatever you think is appropriate. And I said, if he be continued, possibly he'd be extended or some type of other sanction to address his behavior being imposed.
And Ms. Lopez, I know we didn't get an update done because you would be here. And typically an update would have a recommendation with regard to Mr. Gillery. I know he already had a 30-day sanction in our county jail. Do you feel like there's any chance of him being successful, or is it your position that he should be revoked?
He's denied responsibility in all of these instances. If he had taken any form of responsibility, my opinion may be different. But at this time, his attitude reflects that he's not taking this seriously, and so revocation would be my recommendation.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Kimlow?
As I said, I would just defer an upgradation.
All right, so Mr. Gillery, because you're already on probation for evading, and I have found that you have committed this new evading. I don't think there's any reason for me not to believe that. Understand the levels of proof in a trial, but they're different than the levels of proof that I have to find. And so I have found that true. You haven't even been on probation for a year and a half, and you've got several allegations, not just that one, of not following the rules that I have no doubt that Ms. Lopez told you. She tells everyone. She's been a probation officer for a long time, so I don't doubt that she told you about the curfew. I don't doubt that she told you about employment and staying in Jefferson County and all of those things. In fact, the fact that you have the GPS monitoring device on now and you're still going places that you're not supposed to be going, July 4th night, and then who knows what the last week, because now you're not charging it. So at this time, I'm going to find all of the counts except for 6 that you either pled true or I found true. So it'd be 1 through 5 and then 7 through 10. Find sufficient evidence at this time based on that to find you guilty. And at this time, find you guilty of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. I am going to sentence you to a term of 3 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. You're going to be handed the trial court certification. Mr. Kimler, you're going to be handed the trial court certification. Y'all need to sign that and you'll get a copy of it. Shows that this was not an agreement. You have some rights to appeal and you can talk to Mr. Kimler about that. I'm also handing you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. If you have any questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Mr. Kimler. As soon as you sign that, you can go back with the bailiff. Court will be in recess.